Hey everyone, what's going on? This is my Yoru Advanced Split Guide. The goal of this video is, as someone who has played a lot of Yoru, to hopefully give you an insight into how I play this map and show you some tricks and tips that you might not have seen before that you can add to your gameplay. These guides do take quite a while to make, so if you want a guide of the other maps, please let me know with a like and comment. That would be greatly appreciated. I will include the timestamps to each thing that I'm doing so that you can choose and pick what information you want at any given time. This is planned to be quite a long video. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into the guide. Defense on Yoru is actually quite strong. This is due to the easy map rotations he has when he's playing on either of the two sites. His mid can be pretty weak at times, but I'll show you some stuff so it's not as bad, and you can get by pretty easily. So with defense, let's get straight into the A site. So his playstyle in A is pretty simple. He can't really contest the front entrances very well, so a lot of the plays he performs is when he lets the enemies come in a bit further, so he has more room to kind of make plays and whatnot. On A, he has a lot of tricky plays he can perform. This is mainly due to the shape of the site and kind of how it all pans out in-game. So let's get into those plays. With Yoru, there's a very common combo you need to perfect. And this combo is using your TP and your blind together in one play. You need to perfect the timing that it takes. So for example, if I'm playing defense in the back of A site, one combo would be having the TP in that corner, and then once they walk out in main, I would flash once, peek, shoot, and then flash once. And here's the main part you need to perfect, is being able to time your TP with the blind. So right when it hits the wall is usually when I when I use my TP. You need to be able to TP pretty much exactly when the blind pops, so that once you TP, you have as much time as you can to shoot the enemy and be able to survive. However, you also need to always change up your combo. So for example, if I'm playing A site again and I'm playing the exact same spot, I might throw my TP in the exact same spot, but I won't do the things in the same order. So for example, if I'm playing an A site in the next round, I might just blind and then TP on the first blind. For example, this is what I might do. And all you're trying to do is make your plays not predictable, because as soon as your plays are predictable, the enemy just knows exactly where you are always, and that's not what you want to do. And another variation of the exact same combo, because I will call it a full combo throughout this video, just for reference. The same kind of combo would be if I throw the TP in the corner, I blind, I peek, and then I blind, but I don't actually TP. I just re-peek the same spot. So I would do this. Now, why would I do that? It's pretty simple. It's that people are getting pretty smart with Yoru, and they kind of know that if you hear the orb like right here, that if he blinds, he's probably going to use it. So if I'm playing here, and I can use that fact to my advantage. So if I'm playing here, and I blind, and I peek, and I blind again, the moment that that next blind goes off, most of the enemies will probably be staring at the direction they hear the sound from. So if they get blind right here, and they hear the TP right here, they'll probably be turning and staring at the TP. And then what you do is you just re-peek the same spot. So you just blind and then re-peek the same spot once again. And that is a pretty common combo you'll use as Yoru. I wanted to kind of fully talk about it now because I'm going to talk about it a lot throughout the rest of this video. And it's good that you kind of know what I'm talking about and what you can do to match it. Now we can get into the specific A site setups. So a lot of these setups you'll see are on site. That's because I just like on site a lot more. I have one, I believe, for Heaven, which I'll get into later. Alright, so the first setup is behind screens. Now, you have options for screens. The most common ones that I do are either in this corner and in this corner. And you do the same full combo. Although you can play a bit more defensive if you want to and put it in this corner, for example. But you do the same full combo that I've talked about last time. So if I have my TP in this corner, you would do the same thing. But again, as I said with the full combo, you always mix up what you do. Now, the blind for this spot is pretty easy. The ones that I usually do is kind of aim for like the middle-ish of this line, like center kind of the screen. And then you want to aim for this part right here. I will try to highlight it. You want to aim for that part because if you hit it with a blind, it'll drop down insanely well, and it'll pop in the middle of the entire site. And the easiest way I do it is to back up a little bit and then just aim for this tile right here. If you see the long part of the screen, I just aim for this. I'll put it like right on and it bounces perfectly. This blind is quite good because it's easy and there's a big range for you to hit it. So I can kind of do it from wherever I want to, and it'll usually hit in a really good spot as long as I am aiming in the right spot. But here it gets a little hard as you go further right, but you just have to get used to it. It's super easy to hit if you're aiming, again, just at this part. Now, so I'll do the full combo as I said earlier. So for example, I might put it up here, and then once I peek out and I see them out here, I will throw one blind, peek, another one, TP, and you know the combo. And you have options, as I said. You can either put your gate crash here, or in heaven, or in screens. Why is this blind good, and why not use it instead of, I don't know, something like this? And it's pretty simple. It's that, well, for one, it's easy, and two, you can peek with it pretty quickly. And you have the huge screen here, so if you throw it up here, you can peek instantly because you don't have to worry about it re-hitting you because you just have the screen to help you block it. So if you throw it, you can pretty much peek instantly as soon as you want. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that this is a weak spot of the blind. You cannot blind somebody unless you get a super good blind, like on the corner. But most of the time, you will not get somebody if they are all the way in this corner. So that's where I usually aim as soon as I blind. So I will blind, I'll peek out, and I'll instantly aim for this corner, and then after that, I will go for any other people that are higher targets. Although a problem with this blind is that if you have a teammate in heaven playing right here, or kind of just in this general area, it can blind them. But we can fix this pretty easily. Now, you fix this by backing up all the way to the wall, but you obviously don't want to peek out on either side. You back up to the wall, and you aim for this corner. And there you go. If you just back up and hit the corner, and then peek in the exact same time, the blind will stick to that corner, and it will still blind people because they'll pop right here, and they can't block it, but it just won't blind people right here because it'll get blocked by the thing. So that's a good addition you can do if you have people who you don't want to blind. You just aim for the corner, and then you're good. Now the next kind of setup is for back corner, anywhere right here. Again, use the same gate crashes. I'm not going to keep repeating that, but you just use the same gate crashes as you would for most spots. Now, the blind for this spot is pretty simple. If you see this line, you want to meet it with the wall. And it's super easy to hit, and it's a really good blind. Now, why is it a good blind? Well, for one, you cannot be blinded by it again. So if you're all the way back here and you throw it, again, you can't be blind. If you're all the way up here, again, can't be blind. So you don't have to worry about being blind by it. You can peek pretty much instantly with it. And again, it is a pretty quick pop flash too. They will not see the flash for a lot of it flying. They will only see it when it jumps up right here, then they'll be blind. And again, it's also really easy to hit. So I can be running, doesn't really matter. Overall, a really good blind to use. That's the back setup. Now you need to be aware of where this flash is weak to, and it's the exact same spot as the last one. I usually pre-aim this spot if I'm ever using a back sight setup. So I'll blind, peek this spot, and if there's a person here, they won't be blind and you need to kill them first. They're the highest priority that you have. And then once he's killed, you have two options. You can either back up and blind again, or you can just go for a transfer onto the other people. If you are playing in elbow and want to peek out here, a good blind is just to hit this line near the edge. I'll usually go like right here. And you want it to pop in the doorway right here. And a good part of this blind, like the other ones, you are not blind by it. You can throw it and peek out right away with it. Like that. If you're playing in screens, a good blind is to come around this area and aim for right here. This blind, yet again, will let you peek out the alleyway, and like the other flashes, you will not be blind by it. If you're having a hard time with the blind, you can come to this dot right here, and you want to aim for the halfway mark between right here and right here, which is around right here. Throw it out, and it'll pop around like right here. It's absolutely perfect for all of alley. If you're playing behind box, a common blind I'll use is come all the way in the corner, follow this line, and meet it with this line. It is insanely good for blinding all of entrance, but you do have to be a bit careful with this one, as if you move too early, it can blind you, and that is not what you want. And the last blind is for a heaven. If you are trying to play the behind this box, you can bounce it off of this light right here. If you want to line it up properly, you can come around right here. This is the perfect spot. And you have to wait for it to pop fully, because it will blind you if you come out too quickly. It pops in the perfect spot around right here, which these people cannot dodge because it's too low. I usually don't like doing a lot of footstep lineups because you guys can kind of use your imagination on how to fake out the enemy. The one that I will note, however, is the most common. This one is super good. To do it, you just line yourself up with this pebble right here, and it will do one step. And now we are onto the cross-map gate crashes you can do on A. I will use the same spot for all of them for the A site. Just you come to this doorway, and you line yourself up with this black bar. And the first lineup is for below heaven on B. Let's say they have been fast rushing the site a lot. You can use this lineup pre-round to instantly teleport back. And the lineup is simple. Come to the same spot and line up with the top of this creek in the wall right here.
Time to jump.
And as you saw, it landed there. So if I'm playing on site and then we hear them B, now I'm on B to help out. And the next one is if you want to go into heaven right here. You do have to be careful though, because if the opponent has this area right here, you can be shot pretty easily. But if they just have sight and you want to go into heaven, you can use this lineup, which is the top of this creek, which is next to the other one. You line up at the top of this creek and throw. And as you can see, it is the exact same. It's in the same spot. So if we hear them coming, I'm now in B heaven. So I lied. This is a lineup that I found in the post-production that I'll add in anyway. So if you want to go behind this box right here, and you want to kind of have the space on site, but not below heaven, you want to line up with the other door, with the same creek in the other door, and line up with where this line meets right here.
Time to jump.
And as you see, I'm now behind a box on site. And now for the Yolo Plays on A, because it's not a Yoru guide if we if we ain't got some plays, alright? So the first one's pretty risky. You want to try to do it at the start of the round. You want to do it as soon as the wall is down, and the reason it's risky, because if the enemy walks past the peak, like right here, then they will see you trying to do it. But if you perform it right at the start of the round, they shouldn't have time. So how you do this one is you come to this corner, and you aim your gate crash for the edge where this meets the wall right here. So you want to just go right here, and you throw it. And the whole objective of this TP is to get to this back corner as soon as possible. And that's exactly what this does. So now you want to pair it with 2 flashes. And the flash lineup, if you see the bush right here, you just throw the flash with the bush. And it's actually quite a good flash. It lands around right here. The one weakness to it is if they're standing here for some reason. If they're just sitting in sewers, then they can shoot you. But that is the one risky part about it. So the full play would be like this. You throw it, and then around when the orb gets right here, you want to flash. So I'm going to redo it. So the orb is right here. You want them to be flashed, and then you want to flash when it's around right here as well. So I'll show you how the full thing is. You throw it right here, and you blind when it's about to cross. So around right now, and then you blind again. You TP with it, and here you are to kill all 5 of them easily. And the next one is if you come to A heaven and then line yourself up with the creek in the floor, like right here. And if the crash, you can throw a couple seconds pre-round because it has some time to travel. The wall is like right here, I think, and you're right here. So you can throw it a bit before, and then you got some time for it to travel. The gate crash is the bottom of this little icon right here, the bottom corner.
Time to jump.
And it's pretty much the same gate crash as the other one. It's just a lot quicker. Like there's no rough time right here. It just goes straight to the corner. And the flash is a bit hard to see, but you may have to like zoom in or just copy where my cursor is. If you see the bridge right here, it's the bottom left of this kind of U shape right here. So if you see the U shape, bottom left, the flash is like that. And it's also a insanely good blind. It lands around the same spot. So the full play would be like this. Be the orb right here.
Time to jump.
And then once it's almost up, you blind it around right now. And another one right now. And then you're in. To kill all of them. Easily. And we are finally onto the B site. I know that was a very long A site, but I said this was going to be a long video, and I'm sticking to my word. So the gate crash locations are as follows. Up here. Behind the billboard. Behind the box. And you can do hell and heaven and back here. You have a bunch of options once again. And quick note is that to get it on top of this box, you try to jump up, you actually can't do it. I'm not sure if it's a bug in the game, but if you put a footstep below you, you can then jump up and put it up here. I don't know why it's like that. I think it's a bug, but it still works as normal. If you have the footstep, those are all the TPs you use for your full combos. And now let's get into the blinds. If you're playing behind a billboard, the best flash is just to hit it along the black box right here. The reason it's the best is because the enemies have an insanely low amount of time to dodge it. It'll pop as soon as it breaks the wall, like right here it'll pop, and they just have little to no time to react. This flash doesn't really have a lineup because it's in the middle of garage. So the premise is you want to bounce a flash off of here and have it land in their sight around right here. And the way I do it is by backing up from the box a little bit and aiming for around right here. And the goal of this is to flash the opponent without flashing you when you peek. So this will blow up around right here, which if you're playing from is you will be blind by that. Let's say you just want to quick peek main. A good pop flash you can do is to hit it along this wall like this and peek out with it like this. And that is actually all of the blinds for B. There's not a whole lot of good ones you can do. So for the rest of the spots, like if you're behind box, you just want to flash regularly. There's not a whole lot of good terrain to kind of get super good flashes off. So just use the basics that you know. And as I said on A, I don't like doing a whole lot of lineups for footsteps. But there is quite a good one on top of this box that I'll show you how to do. So you jump on top, then you get yourself in the corner, and you aim for the top of this tile right here. And it puts a footstep down, and you can activate it for 1 step. This is a good retake orb to A if you're coming from B. You want to line yourself up with this plant right here and aim for the top left of this canopy thing.
Cutting through.
And as you can see, it goes to the back of site. This is a good cross-map rotation orb you can use on B. So if you line yourself up with the corner here and aim for the door handle.
Cutting through.
And as you see, we are on A now. And the first YOLO play of B is actually one that you only use one blind for. So it's pretty simple, is that if there's people who usually play pretty aggressive around here, is you're going to TP right here and blind them. So the way you do that is you line up with this dot in the wall right here, and you aim for the creak in the wall right here. And you want to blind it pretty early, just the wall right here, and you can be aggressive to get them off of the angle. And the other YOLO play for B, it isn't really that great, but there's not a whole lot of good ones you can do on B, so this one will do. So there's not really a lineup, you just want to kind of aim it around like right here. So you go to the back corner, and then the blind isn't really anything special, you just want to hit the wall with the blind. Look at this. And then you TP inside that. And we are on to mid. In mid, there's not a whole lot you can do, so I'll be showing you guys kind of some good blinds you can use and some YOLO plays. So hopefully the blinds can kind of hold you over, and so mid isn't as bad as it usually is. And the first blind is if you're behind a box, you can hit the top of the roof right here. You blind out in front of you to give you a window to peek. A good blind you can use if they are coming into vents is line yourself with this wall to about right here where you can kind of see this line, and then throw your flash along the middle of this floor, and then you want to zip up right here and shoot, because that blind will not blind you, it'll only blind them, so you have free reign to peek. And the last blind for mid is if you're holding this corner, you can actually hit this wall right here and peek with the blind, so you are not blind by it, the enemy is. For the mid YOLO play, there's not really a lineup, you don't really need one. You can either go in this corner or the far corner, and then you blind twice by hitting it along this wall. So you throw it, and then you blind twice. And with the close corner, you can either peek immediately and go for kills, or you can actually sit, because they might not expect you to be in this corner since it's so far up. But for the other corner, you should peek immediately, because they're going to be right on top of you. So you're going to throw it like right there-ish, and then do the same two blinds. And there you go. Offense on split is pretty good. It's not great. Yoru is great at disrupting key spots on the map, and that's pretty much how split works. If you get the main spots on the site, then most likely those will transfer into round wins, or at least site takes. The main spot I'm talking about is the billboard and backside area on B, which Yoru is great at taking. The half for offense may look a bit shorter than the defensive half. That's because most of the plays are evolved around getting on these key locations, and you don't really need plays around the entire map, just revolving around those key spots. So the first thing you need to get comfortable with doing on offense is trying to take B backside right here, and it's pretty easy to do so. All you do is you come to the wall, and you want to throw your crash at an angle so it goes backside. And so here's how I'll throw it, just kind of like this. Then after that, you want to cross over, probably with help from teammates. And now your flash, you want to hit this billboard with both your flashes. The way you do that is you kind of come behind this box, and then you look halfway between the pipe right here and this top. Kind of halfway between right here, like this. And it'll hit the flash down and blind people all in this area, and then you'll get the free B backside. And the next play you want to get comfortable with doing is throwing your gate crash at this kind of angle so that it lands right here in this spot, and then you want to throw both of your flashes at the wall right here. And the main point of this one is to clear all of these angles, because these are key angles. So if you clear all of these angles, then you will be set to take backside with the rest of your team, and then you'll be all set. This is also a pretty good crash to get into A heaven. You're going to throw your orb so that it goes in this corner, and then blind along this wall. And then you'll take heaven off that. This is a good play you can do if you're trying to fake out your opponent in mid. What you can do is you can throw your crash as close to this corner as you can. So throw it like this. And while it's flying, you can go run it into A heaven and try to fake them out as much as you can. Put your blinds, do whatever you can. And then once you see that your crash is landing in the corner, you can go back to B site like this. And if your team is trying to take A site, a good ultimate you can do, you got two options. You can leave your TP here, and then you can ult do and do a bit of a circle. Run along the site, tag everybody. You have two options. You can either go right here and go out your ultimate, or you can just go back to your teleport. It's safety. If your team is trying to take B site, a common ultimate I do is I throw my orb, my ult in, I do another circle like on the other part, but then I run it back into CT right here. What this does is it creates a lot of pressure on them. We have pressure going into them from two sides. And that was my Yoru advanced split guide. I hope you guys enjoyed. These do take a while to make, so if you want more on the other maps, please let me know with a like and comment. That'd be awesome. The growth over the past week has been pretty crazy. I really appreciate it, as I'm just getting back into YouTube, and this kind of makes me want to make a lot more content. So more to come for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day, and peace out.